Okay, boys, we got Coach Nagy joining right now. What's up, Coach? You got me? How you doing, Coach? You got me okay?
I think I do. Hold on one second. Can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay, hold on one second here. Good. I'm good to go.
All right. We'll let Coach Nagy start with an opening statement, then we'll open it up for questions after that. So,
All right, thanks. It's good seeing everybody. I want to start out by giving all of our thoughts and prayers to Tariq Cohen and his family with the loss of his twin brother Tyrell. We're thinking about them every day and everything that they're going through right now. I know it's been a little bit of time since then, but they're all in our thoughts and prayers, and we miss them. Unfortunately for me, in regards to today, I had to miss today's first day of rookie minicamp and tomorrow's as well. Hopefully that's best case scenario, and I can come back on Sunday morning. I do appreciate our head trainer, Andre Tucker, our nurses, testing nurses, and our team doctors for taking great care of my family during this time. I do think it's a really good reminder to all of us that the virus is obviously still very real, and hopefully more and more of us will continue to go out and get our vaccines. I'm actually in the middle of mine right now. I've had my first shot and will be getting my second shot here in the near future. So, with that today, we had our virtual unit install meetings this morning. And then as you all just saw, they took it to the grass for some field work. I thought they looked really good. Everything is easy right now on paper, and then it always changes when you get to the field for the first time and there's those moving parts and it's stuff that you haven't done in this offense, defense, or special teams. So it's really going to be about mental reps for them this weekend. And it's probably going to be the slowest that they look, and they're going to feel that. But they all had a really good day. Just talking to some of the coaches, what they thought it was like live in person. It went really well. So I'm happy for that, but definitely excited to get back out there, hopefully on Sunday. So with that, I'll go ahead and open to questions.
First question, Dan.
Matt, logistically, how did this work for you today in terms of who had the iPad that was, basically your eyes on the field, and what was it like for you trying to monitor everything from home?
Yeah, Dan, it was Kyle Childress, my assistant, was out there, and he was walking around with a big iPad and was giving me that view from where I would normally stand. And it's definitely a little bit different. It wasn't quite HD. It was a little blurry, but at the same point in time, I could tell when it was a good play or not. So I'm anxious to get to the video and see what it looks like from a bird's eye view.
From a vaccine standpoint, when is your second shot, and how come you aren't fully vaxxed yet?
Yeah, so my second shot comes up in a few weeks, and with the timing of everything, all we've done is just kind of listen to where we stand with not taking away from other people and making sure we put other people in front of us. And, just when it was available to get with the team, that's immediately what I did. And so, I'm glad that I got it, and I'm definitely looking forward to the second one.
Adam Hogue.
Hey, Matt, first of all, hope everything is going okay with the family.
Thanks, Adam.
And just in terms of, I guess, what you saw, we're able to see from Justin specifically today, just maybe in terms of how comfortable he looked, whether it was under center or throwing the ball, whatever you were able to see.
Sure. Number one, I think that he had really good command of just kind of going from play call in the headset, walking into the huddle, calling the play, everyone breaking at the same time, and then having that first wide vision. There weren't many false starts at all, which is pretty good. I think we had one from the very beginning, which could have been on the defense with the shift. I'm not sure. I have to see the tape, but his mechanics were really good. I thought he seemed super calm. Everything just, a lot of times in these camps, things seem 1,000 miles per hour, and it didn't seem that way from where I was. I thought the ball did not touch the ground very much in the reps that he had passing the football. So that part was good. And that's a credit to the other guys too, for being able to get up there and know their responsibilities so that those guys can play fast.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Matt, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Pat?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm curious when it comes to the veteran mini camp and the OTAs coming up. Do you have a sense of whether those will be well attended, and will you guys do anything to try to entice better attendance?
So number one, I don't have an idea either way. I do know it is voluntary any way we look at it. I understand that, but as far as trying to entice anybody or any players to come here, that's not how we do things, and we don't believe in that because we know we got guys that will make their own decisions as far as what they want to do, and then what we're going to do, Pat, as a coaching staff and support staff as well, with our trainers, our strength coaches, nutritionists, Ryan, myself, is put together what we think for us is the best plan for the Chicago Bears. And so we've been given guidelines and rules that we're allowed to use. But there's also, you have to have a couple different scenarios of what you think is best for your team and where they're at. And these are different times right now. So I think you need to be able to adapt to that, which is, finding that happy medium ground to where there's that safety issue, but yet you're still getting quality reps. So I don't know which way it'll go, but obviously we'll kind of find out here in a few days.
John Greenberg.
There we go. How exciting is this, Matt, for you, even though you can't be there, just to get Justin on the field, in the orange jersey and seeing him work? You could see him working with Daz Newsome today and just getting in there. How exciting is it?
It is. It's exciting for all of those guys. And you're going to continually hear us talk about that. I know the excitement is about Justin and getting him out there and at that quarterback position for him to be able to go out and really just see right now where his foundation is at as a player. It's one thing when you see what he does on college tape and what he did at Ohio State. It's another thing now to start from the ground up and be able to see what kind of work that he puts into being able to take control of the huddle. There was a play today where we had him an error in the route based off the coverage that the defense gave us. And I thought it was pretty cool that already on day one, Justin was going over and in a coachable, teachable way was explaining to that player that, hey, it changed rotation wise. And next time that happens, you got to run this route instead of that route. I think that's like day one. That's pretty good. So those are the kind of things that we as a coaching staff got to say, okay, where is he at right now? What's his bottom ground? Like, what's his base? And once we know where his base foundation is, then we can start to build off of that. And then it's just going to be about how fast he can learn and how fast does this stuff happen? What kind of plays is he making in practice? What kind of mistakes is he making? And again, it just ultimately goes back to we'll all see it and we'll know it.
Colleen.
Hey, Matt, kind of along those same lines, just over the last week, as you've gotten to know Justin a little bit better over Zooms and stuff like that, what have you learned about how he operates?
Yeah, he's it's funny because I'm sure you guys are all seeing right now, he's got that serious look / mode to him every time he's around. But then every once in a while you get that crack of a smile that is just, I think he's always got that competitive drive just engraved in him. And so that's where he's at all the time. But then he also has that other side to him as well. So the more that we have these meetings with him, the more that we realize and get to see his commitment to being focused at the details of this offense and see how fast he can grow. It gives us a chance to be able to work off of that. But he's got a really great professional personality, which I love. He's all about business right now, and to have somebody that's been through the stages that he's been through to now get to this point and work your way back up. We always liken it to, you can always talk about whether it's from high school to college to the pros. You go from a big fish in a small pond to a small fish in a big pond, and it's just a matter of getting to learn your teammates and work your way back up to getting to where you want to be. So he's a competitor.
Mike Berman.
Matt, this goes more towards Justin's makeup and what you've seen from him. He was saying, someone asked him, do you feel the pressure as you get set for this kind of first weekend of pro football? And he said, I'm built for this. This is nothing new to me. It seems like he's just got a very strong confidence about himself. How have you seen that just in the first handful of days that you've been working together? How do you think that's a big benefit for him as he starts his pro career?
Yeah, Mike, it probably goes a little bit back to what Colleen was talking about with what you see about him. There's, a lot of that is just DNA, and it's what you believe in. It's what you've known. It's what you've done your whole life. And so when he says that doesn't surprise me. But there's a lot of hard work that goes into that. And when you have it in a natural way, it definitely helps you. And he's shown to have that in big time moments in his career. So he understands what's ahead of him. He knows that he's going to come in here and get to learn from Andy and from Nick and see what it's like to just really observe how to, watch tape and what it's like to be in practice. And when you're not always getting that first rep, what's that like? That's a unique situation for him too. But when you have the confidence that he has, you never want to take that away from anybody, and you want to use that. So I love the fact that he has that.
Jason?
Matt, how much is Fields going to be your focus once you get the full team around? How hands-on are you going to be with him as opposed to letting Flip and Laser coach him?
Yeah. So Jason, we're going to put together a plan that really involves the three of us, Bill, myself, and Flip, with those other quarterbacks, and really, whether it's in the meeting rooms, whether it's out at practice, or whether it's in these Zoom calls that we have, making sure that it's very important that they know how we're all thinking, that we're speaking the same language. Flip's the quarterback coach, and Flip, for all three of those guys, has to make sure that he handles them all a little bit differently because they're at different levels and different stages. So that's one part of it. Bill's got to oversee that and really make sure that, okay, for Andy, when Andy gets in here, right? Andy doesn't have the relationship with the players that some of these guys that were on the team last year, like Nick has. Andy doesn't know the offense like Nick does. So he's at one stage right there. And so coming on in here with the experience that he has and playing in playoff games and the leadership skills that he has, he's been around a lot of good coaches, a lot of good players, and he's played in a lot of big time games. And so he's at one part. So we got to make sure myself, Bill, and Flip all treat him a certain way. And then the same with Justin and the same with Nick. So there's a lot to it for sure. It's not easy, but there's going to be extra work involved, using more time, but making sure that whatever we do, that quarterback room is as best as it can be. So it helps us win football games, from all of those guys.
Dan?
Matt, as the author of the playbook and the guy who will be calling the plays, when you look at Justin's running ability, I guess what excites you about the ability to scheme him as a runner, and what's new about having a guy that's that size and that speed?
Yeah, he definitely has rare speed for a quarterback. And I think when you watch him play on tape, for the 40 time that he ran, it's a controlled speed that he has. So he plays quarterback first, and then he uses his legs second. And what happens is when you naturally have that, and some defenses can collapse the pocket, and they still can't get you, and you extend plays with your legs, that's hard to defensive coordinators. So when you become a runner, when they take it away, and then not just be able to run for 15 or 20 yards, but you're able to go the distance and take it 70 or 80, which he can do. That's a whole nother element. And so the exciting part of being able to have a guy where, you can do some things with his legs, but that you can do some great things with his arm as well. That's fun. That's a good deal right there. So, but again, we got to go back to just making sure that he can do, like you said, the stuff that we do, our identity of our offense, and when we're calling plays, that all that he can do in his sleep, so that he can play fast, because we want him to learn this offense so he can play at that 4.4 speed that he has when he's out there. And we want a guy like Andy and Nick, who don't have that 4.4 speed, to be able to play fast mentally with the decisions they're making, along with Justin. So when you have that speed that he has, it's definitely a rare element.
Got time for a couple more. Cheryl?
Hi, Coach. I hope you and your family are well.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I know we've been talking a lot about Justin Fields, but what about your two drafted offensive linemen, Larry and Tevin? What have you seen, or do you just rely on Coach Castillo to take care of that?
No. I think, well, number one, in the end, for sure, I think Coach Castillo, the way he develops players, which is what this ultimately is all about, and the way he treats them and teaches them how to play this game in the NFL, he's had a lot of success with that. So anytime we go into a draft and we talk about these guys, we always go to the next part is how do we see them developing under Juan? And so that's a real part. But what I just really appreciate about both of those guys is that, number one, they played in big time programs and they're big guys now. I mean, they're for how as big as they are, they're very athletic. Their mindset and the mentality that they have is impressive in the run game. It's really, really neat to see. But just like Justin, they're going back now and they're going to learn different techniques that maybe they've never learned before from Juan. And so they're starting again back at ground zero. And that takes a little bit of time. So, but as long as they're willing to do that, which I think both of those guys are, along with the other guys, then that's what's exciting, is to see where their ceiling is. So it's all about a mindset right now. It's about building trust with players and coaches, and then it's executing when you're on the field.
And last one, Adam Hogue.
Hey, Matt, just a couple quick clarifications. Not that we got to analyze every single rookie mini camp pass, but the play you were talking about earlier where he was coaching up one of the receivers on the route, I think I only saw one incompletion where the ball didn't even hit the receiver in the hand. Was that play?
You know what? Sorry, Adam, I haven't watched it yet, but I don't think it was that play. But I'll maybe tomorrow ask me that, and I'll get back to you on that one. I know the play call, but I don't know if that's the exact one that you're referring to. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the tape here as a staff in about 10 minutes, and that'll be good to know, and I'll get back to you on that.
And then just quickly, in terms of the communication you had today over that tablet that was being moved around, I mean, how much were you actually interacting with either the coaches or even was there any point where you actually were talking to Justin about something he saw out there?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit. I was just letting them know, how this is a special day for these guys. All these guys work so hard to be able to put on an NFL jersey and have their first practice. And so sometimes you got to step back and remind yourself of that. But at the same point in time, we were just talking through with just how he's feeling mentally. He was coming over and asking, what was going on. And I was telling him just a little bit, not a lot, because I wanted them to be able to do their thing. And then Coach Tabor, was running the show today. So I just got to make sure that he wasn't turning this thing into like 80% special teams day and telling all the coaches they got margarita night tonight.
I think we're all set. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks, guys. Everybody take care. Take care. We'll see you.